my permanent dye. And it was permanent, so
Oh,
I was like,
and then
oh
you're-
my god, I did it for like a year and a half.
Oh, yeah, wow.
That was like a project.
Yeah, I colored mine. I was pretty much white by the time I was 30.
Wow.
And I'm lucky it's white. I have a sister wwho had lighter hair than, because I had dark brown reddish hair. And it went completely white. My sister just kind of faded. So I colored it until I think maybe 16, 15 years ago. And I
Your hair is so pretty.
Well, I have
Like,
very
I
good hair and it, but I
Mm-hmm.
do have to get it cut every 5 or 6 weeks or it overtakes everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, so when my daughter went to college, I can't do this every 4 or 5
Yeah.
months.
Right.
So now she does this little bit of color every 3 months.
Yeah.
You know,
That's probably
Just
what people
fun.
do eventually.
Yeah.
And it's funny you say that about
fun.
your hair being white, my hair, I shouldn't say gray, it's white, like my
Yeah,
hair that's
it's
tucked in
white,
it is
white.
white. Yeah. Good morning.
How's it going?
How are you?
And both my kids
It's hard to
are
love.
getting a little bit, but nothing like that. They're in their 30s. Listen to me, but I'm pretty proud of it.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly. I reminded it.
You can just
so,
close
like,
them on your
it's-
way back in.
I'm like,
So what's your debate?
if I'm gonna like.
Color it?
Yeah, but not like anything permanent, like just like every 6 weeks, probably 8 with me,
Yeah.
honestly. Probably every 8 weeks, like do something, but.
Cause it looks pretty, like
Thanks,
what?
that's what every,
Yeah.
like I've had strangers stop me and be like, your hair, I know people don't like when their hair like turns gray, your hair looks beautiful.
Yeah.
Like, thank you,
Mhm.
but I'm just, it feels like, I don't know, it just, like, I just don't.
get there mentally.
Yeah, I was okay with it for like 2 years, 'cause it's been coming in
Yeah,
significantly
yeah.
for 2 years, but now it's just a lot right here. I'm like, nah.
I hear ya. That's what I was
Yeah.
feeling, like mine was like a lot right there where
Yes.
like guys get it and I'm
Yeah.
like, I don't really know if I.
Why did they look distinguished? We were.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
It's true.
Yes. Yeah.
But I feel like everyone that whatever age they are, that when they do grow it out, it looks beautiful. I think it's just our own personal
Yeah.
issue
Yeah.
with it,
Yes,
you know.
You have to come to a place where you're like, okay, I can look at myself in the mirror every morning with completely white hair.
Yep. I know that she did this the other day.
That plant's coming back to life
Which
now
one?
that I cut it.
Oh,
like you said,
good.
too.
Yay. All
Yeah,
right. So I
leaves
bet
are
you
out
it'll
instead of
probably grow
curling.
its root. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
So hopefully it roots this time.
So that's the thing when you get a clipping from a plant is to cut it at like a little fork,
Yeah.
and then usually it will propagate
Yay.
from there. Yeah. If you didn't know that already, we were talking about it the other day.
I love plants, I got some during COVID, well, only house plants, that's it.
I don't seem to be able to keep them alive. My daughter gave me a plant last Mother's Day, because I've been talking about wanting something in my office. And so far, she's had to take it back twice.
Oh.
And revive it. And she said, you know what? We'll make it a tradition. Every Mother's Day, you give me back the one you. I didn't even do one.
That's
And then I
nice.
trade it
Yeah,
off,
that's
and I'll
funny.
bring it back.
Have you tried a snake plant?
No,
You should try that, they're like,
so easy.
so
Are they?
easy.
See, I killed
It's
one
the won't
that
help
I
with your
had.
tradition.
Yeah.
You have to water like every 2 months.
That's-
Like a pour and then that's it, you don't water it.
So
again
it
for
likes
2
to be
months.
drier.
Yes.
Okay, so I probably I used to have a beautiful one here, actually.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
They're my, yeah, I've had it since 2020. and
Don't they
it-
help, like,
once it
purify the
rusts,
air
and
That's
stuff?
what the host
Well,
did, yeah.
that's what
Isn't that also called mother-in-law's tongue?
Yep.
Okay. Which I did.
Yeah, yeah, I asked her about snake.
Okay, I will.
If you're okay with killing your tradition.
No, that's all right. It hasn't really a couple yet, it's brand new, so.
See, I feel like that they're like become a little heirloom plants, cause they.
Plants, yeah.
Can have them for.
Forever and ever and ever. Yeah.
Yep.
My string of turtle was going strong.
That's amazing, that I could not.
I don't know how.
Yeah, I drowned that and string of pearls, yeah.
It's probably
Those
because
are
I
like
put
the
it in hot water, I
sucking
think.
kind of ones? Are they the
Yeah.
sucking?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, I
really
think
do.
I overwatered it, I was
Yeah.
so scared when I got them, I didn't want them to die, and
And they have to be in like a certain soil that drains really fast too.
Yep, that's
Can't be
probably.
in the normal.
Yeah, that would be too much for me. Yeah, I do outdoor plants.
I'll do that, so I'm like,
Well,
there's always a 50-50 chance we'll be on the floor someday.
Yeah,
Right.
I got a cat and I used some of my other cats prior to this one ate everything, especially baby's breath and drive and flower arrangement.
Oh,
I could
yeah.
never have flowers.
Mhm.
And the black and white one was just so dopey. He's the one that set himself on fire with the candle.
Oh,
And,
geez.
Oh
nothing
my
good
gosh.
to- So I couldn't have plant, even cat safe plants, you just don't really want them eating it and throwing it up all over the place. So-
Yeah,
You
no,
know, and snake plants not cat safe, I don't.
Yeah, no, but if I had it in my office, I'd
Yeah,
be.
okay. I'm like, wait.
Sadly, she doesn't get to come to work with me, although she's
Oh.
perfectly happy about that. I'm thinking, could you have it there if you go? But
right?
actually, they do. Sometimes we have an employee that occasionally trains dogs to be assistant dogs, so she gets
That's
permission
cool.
to bring the dog into work. Interesting.
Nice. I love your scarf.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
I do too. I
That's
wear
so
it a
pretty.
lot. I pretend it goes with everything. Kinda does.
You don't have to
well,
pretend,
I
it just
know.
does.
I know, it's just one of my.
Are you kidding me?
favorites right now.
Then I must pretend everything goes with everything.
Yes, I do too. And then one of my kids will look at me if I see them and I'll get the look. Okay, thanks.
Their opinions don't count as far as like what, like mom's fashion. Cause they're never going to agree with it unless they do it for you.
My daughter
Yeah.
will do it for me.
Yeah.
Yes, if we shop together, she will. And sometimes she'll say, oh yeah, that's it. You know, she'll pick out things that she'll know I like, but that's a you thing. But we started dressing a little. bit
Sometimes
like
I find that insulting.
have
Like this is like, this is a you
Here's
thing. And I'm
what
like,
is
does
the
it?
thing,
No,
so
it
we have to
doesn't.
make sure we don't wear it.
I love that.
She looks at me now.
Scotch Sarah's got me
What do you?
best and something else for
I
Christmas.
try
Yeah.
to mom to wear stuff I wear, but she's not.
Make sure they never watch this.
She's like, I'll take what I like, don't worry.
Yeah, and she won't do
So
like
I
this scarf.
I gave it to my sister.
She
Like part of her.
You're like, this
Yeah.
looks like you, and she's probably going, no, it
Yeah, but not really. But she actually, I picked out a wedding gown.
Oh,
yes, amazing.
Oh, wow.
She had a complete, we went together before she went with the group and she had a style, you know, she had a certain styles picked out. And I picked a couple of dresses and she went with one of the ones I
Oh,
really liked,
nice.
which was really nice. It's a nice memory. She had a really cute, nice little painting made of the two of us.
Oh, wow.
Kept the dress, she wanted the
Aw.
pictures as my
Aw.
wedding, as my gift for her wedding. Yeah, it was very nice.
that is nice.
And then we went and pretended that we hadn't picked it up and surprised everybody.
Oh.
Oh, really? She said, I don't want the pressure of my future mother-in-law and a couple of other people. She said, I don't want the pressure of them changing my mind.
Mm,
And you could tell as soon as she put it on. But yeah,
It's awesome.
so one time. so
the
that was just
pressure
something.
of other people.
I know.
Then there's me, I brought like 8 people, like, let's
Really?
go.
Yeah, my niece just brought, I think there were 5. She had gone once with her mother and then she invited my daughter and I.
That's
friend
awesome.
and the mother-in-law.
Oh, this one's so fun.
She had. It was actually, we just did it a couple weeks ago.
Hmm,
That's great.
that's so fun. I forget about all that stuff. Are you
I
gonna
didn't do it with
you
my.
didn't? I was
no.
gonna say, are you gonna
I
do
got married
it
in
this
the
time
park,
around?
so maybe this time with Scott,
Yeah,
it'll be like an actual wedding.
right?
I'm so glad though, because that would have been such a waste of money with my ex-husband.
Oh.
We're not married, less than 1,000, divorced.
Right? It's true, when there's nothing in between.
Funny you're talking about weddings, cause today's my anniversary.
Is
Wedding dresses, I was just like, oh my
Oh.
gosh, special right now.
That's so
Yeah.
nice. How long?
10 years.
Wow.
I know, I'm like, do I look like someone who's been married for
No.
10 years?
You look happy. The
Yeah.
way that you look at him, like you're so in love. Like I
Yeah,
noticed
and
that.
like we got married a day after our dating anniversary. So yesterday was 16 years since our first date. Like
Wow.
literally, like I was a junior in high school and he was a senior. We've been together.
Wow.
since-
Yay.
Yeah.
Cool.
That's awesome. And actually Angela just popped on and I noticed on Facebook, it's her anniversary. So happy anniversary, Angela. Oh, that's so nice. You're welcome. She's like, thank you. How many years?
10 married, 13 together.
All right,
Oh,
look
wow,
at
look at
that.
those.
So we have, yeah, someone else in here, Nina, who's celebrating her 10-year anniversary today too.
Awesome. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary to you.
I love that they're happy anniversaries. That's
Yeah.
so nice. It's nice and rare.
It was so foreign to me for the longest time that like a marriage could actually be happy. And
Yeah.
now I'm like, wow, this is like a thing.
Did you get to that point where like picking out a card was hard because you're like, I don't feel this way? Like,
Oh yeah, 100%.
you know, have you ever had that problem?
It was, like,
Not with
3
your
months
partner, but
in.
just in general, picking out a card, you're like,
Just like,
Yeah.
not sure that really hits the
Yeah.
mark.
Something
Yeah.
simple.
100%.
And
Oh.
just so, my cards for my mother, she loves cards, so
Oh.
I always get her these
Love
wishy
that.
gushy cards, but it's not, I mean, I love my mother, but that's not ever been her personality or anything, but she loves cards.
Oh,
I think I wasted money.
Yeah, I don't.
now they are. Now they
Yeah.
are. They're like
$6,
10
yeah.
bucks,
They're-
right?
yeah, right.
I just had to buy a card, and it's about $6
Mhm.
for a card. I can't even
My mom says the ones in the
remember
dollar
what
store aren't bad.
I
That's
was
what
just
she
gonna
got.
say,
Yeah.
I only ever bought cards at Dollar Tree. I can't do
I might
it.
have
And we
to
don't,
start doing
I
it.
mean, my grandmother gets a card and that's about
Yeah.
it.
Yeah,
Everybody
it's
else
like
knows,
one
they're like, oh, if there's a gift with no card, it's
It's
for
from
me.
you.
It's
But
you
you
know.
know, same thing.
You can always make a card. You know, we do
I'm
that.
gonna have
Yeah.
active crayons and a piece of paper.
Yeah, write your true feelings out.
Start my own line.
Right?
Yep, so my husband, he's an excellent artist. He won't say that, but he
Oh, that's
is.
cool.
And
Oh.
so I've had him like draw things before for other people and because I also just, it's ridiculous.
Yeah,
I
I'm
just-
not a good drawer.
Neither.
Nope. Thank goodness he is. I'm so happy.
That's awesome.
I love his creativity.
All right. So some of you, Kathy and Christina, you guys were at the women's circle last night and you're here this morning. That continuity and
Yeah.
just seeing regular faces is so awesome for that. That's where it's at. You know, we talked all week this week, probably 6 times that we've had these classes so far, just about what makes it work. And it is the showing up, right? The continuity of practice is what really matters when you think about wanting to feel peace or wanting to feel happiness. You know, it's like you have, just like anything else, right? You have to practice, 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 and eventually you notice that things get better over time. My little giggle in there because life is funny. It's yeah, anyway.
Crazy week, like that. Anybody else have a crazy week? It's just like,
It's a weird.
crazy.
Today's Friday, huh?
Yeah,
Wow, it just goes by
Blew
so
by.
fast. Yeah, that's
but it was slow while it was happening. I struggled all day yesterday at work, just couldn't focus on it. I think it was because I had to do presentations in the morning, training in the morning for about 100 and something people. It's not my thing.
Yeah, that's stressful.
And
Yeah.
nobody, any questions? No, no. I think, but you have to do this time, so you choose now, nothing. Okay, fine. You get nothing, you look out at the group, no.
No,
totally.
Like,
Over.
sleep.
that's
You just did
tough.
so good
But-
explaining it. That's all.
You know, you just get to the end of it and for the day, oh no, I'm here for 5 more hours.
You were in that relief mode of being
Yes.
done for the
Yeah.
day. All right, well, let's just start by arriving here. So go ahead and close your eyes and take a few deep breaths. And you might even say to yourself silently, I have arrived. Scanning your body from head to toe. Just noticing how you feel this morning on all those different levels of being, right? How you feel in your physical body, emotionally, what's coming up. energetically. And where is your energy today? Is it on the higher side, more neutral, or maybe it's a little bit low? Without judgment, we just do these scans. And your breath, noticing that you are breathing. This wonderful thing that happens naturally for us. Breathing. You're ready, you can open your eyes. So we're adding to the practices that we've been doing this week. If you haven't been here this week, then it doesn't matter. You can pick up anywhere with this. So we're going to work on a certain posture this morning. We've been doing the 9-part purification breath, right? So we've been focusing on those 3 channels. The solar, the lunar, and the central channel, or the neutral channel, which is in the middle. So red, white, blue. And we bring in the rainbow or prism energy light with the breath. So we're going to work on that. But there is a posture that goes along with that called the posture of Vairochana, which is the diamond Vajra posture. So you get into this posture, like Vajra means indestructible. So the posture creates that energy, and it's a strong posture. And it's probably not going to feel that great if it's your first time doing it. So you do what you can. When you do this posture, you take your thumb to the base of your ring fingers. So that one's easy-ish. We can take our thumb over there, and then we fold the other 4 fingers over, turn the fists up, and then go ahead and place them at the tops of your thighs, right? And then we sit up as tall as we can. And we press into the thighs, doing our best to straighten the arms. And they're probably not going to be completely straight. And it's okay if the shoulders pop up here. And we draw the shoulders back so the heart lifts, and drop the chin down. Okay, so this is the Vajra posture. This helps to seal in the energy that we create. And it helps us set up our kind of healing mandala, however you want to say it, that is often created in these practices with the Tibetan Buddhist practices. So we brought in the visual this week of the Buddha above your head. This is a very simple version of a longer practice. But the Buddha above your head radiating that rainbow light around you, surrounding you, supporting you, containing the practice, right? So when you move into the practice, you're infusing this sphere of energy, and you get to kind of bask in that energy as you generate it and allow it to flow throughout the body. So our posture, 7-point posture of Vairochana, which has to do with the legs, the hands, the points on the thigh, lengthening up through the spine, dropping the chin, the crown of the head. Everything matters here. But really, it's to open up the lines of energy, and to open up through the nervous system, which connects the subtle energy and the physical body. And so then when you're ready, you can release your hands. We're sitting up tall. We're going to take our left index finger and gently block the left nostril. Taking the right index finger, inhaling, outlining the energy, outlining the solar channel. Comes down, that rainbow energy. We tuck it under the navel, let it rise up the left side, blocking right nostril, exhale left. Releasing anger, aversion. We inhale through the left side. That prism rainbow energy, it tucks right below the navel, rises up the right side, blocking left, exhale right. Inhale through both sides. That rainbow light, it comes down, rises up the central channel. We exhale. Blue smoke, releasing ignorance, aversion. Let's come back to our posture. So take your thumb back over, right below the ring finger. Fold the other fingers over, fists into thighs, sitting up as tall as you can, dropping the chin, the Buddha above your head, radiating, creating that sphere around you. And now taking time to imagine your light body, your rainbow light body, the Vajra, diamond, indestructible, your natural essence. So in this, we begin to feel lighter. Remember, we allow ourselves to lighten up, to be free from the bounds of the skin, the bones, the blood, the organs. Like the light of a full moon. So we tap into that place of infinite potential, infinite possibility. And then we move back to our 9-part breath. So left index finger gently blocks left nostril. Inhale through the right side. Let it come up the left side. Blocking right, exhale left. Anger, aversion, we purify that. We inhale through the left side. Bring it down. Let it rise. Blocking left, exhale right. Releasing ignorance, delusion. Both sides, inhale. Rainbow light rises up the central channel as we exhale the blue smoke, desire and attachment. Good, block left, inhale right. Rainbow light comes down. It rises up the left side. Block right, exhale left. Red smoke releasing anger and aversion. Inhale left. Let it rise up the right side, blocking left, exhale right. White smoke. Inhale both sides. Rainbow light comes down, it rises up the central channel. We exhale. Good. Ignorance, delusion. Again, inhale right side. Let it rise up the left. Blocking right, exhale left. Inhale left. Rises up the right. Blocking left, exhale right. Both sides. Rainbow light, let it rise. We exhale, blue smoke, ignorance, delusion. Come back to your posture, thumb to ring finger, folding the fingers, fists on thighs, sit up tall, drop the chin. See how it feels. Gentle gaze down, just to slightly open your eyes. Find a focal point. And with a slight opening of the eyes, bring in that visual of yourself as that luminous being, rainbow light, full moon light body. Seated in infinite potential. And now imagine at the third eye, in a third eye, crown of the head, a white Om symbol. It's okay if you don't know what that is. You can just imagine even the word Om. And we inhale, and that drops and merges to the throat, merging into the color red, the energy there. So mind, speech, body, speech. On your next exhale, it drops to the heart and merges to create a blue color. Body, speech, mind, enlightened. Inhale back up to the third eye, white. You can imagine that washing over your whole body. That comes down to the throat where it merges into red energy there. On an exhale to the heart, merging into blue. Inhale back up to crown, white. At the throat, it merges red. On an exhale, heart, blue. Good, resting. You can rest your hands. Maybe keep that hold with the fingers, the thumb to the base of the ring finger. Stay up tall. Stay with the breath. We'll go through one more round of our breathing. So left index finger blocking left nostril. We inhale, right side, tracing the energy. It comes down, rainbow light. Rising up the left side, blocking right, exhale left, red smoke. See the red smoke turning into the rainbow light for the purification. Inhale, left side, bring it down. Let it rise up the right side. Blocking left, exhale right. White smoke turning into rainbow light. Inhale, both sides, bring it down. It rises up central channel. We exhale, blue smoke turning into rainbow light. Blocking left, inhale right. Anger and aversion, we gather that up to purify and release it. Blocking right, exhale left. Inhale left, bring it down. Good, let it rise up. We exhale, right side. Desire and attachment. Inhale, both sides. Let it rise up the central channel. We exhale. Ignorance, delusion. One more round. Block left, inhale right. Rainbow light fills the channels. Let it rise up the left side. Blocking right, exhale left. Inhale left. Let it rise up. Blocking left, exhale right. White smoke into that rainbow light. Inhale, rainbow light, both sides. We let it rise up the central channel. Exhale, blue smoke into rainbow light. Good. Let's come back to our Vajra posture one more time. Thumb to the base of the ring finger. Fists facing up at the thighs. Sit up tall. Feeling even lighter in the body as we come back this time. And a gentle, slightly open eyes. From this place of full potential, we can repeat, may all beings be free from suffering.
May all beings be free from suffering.
Good. May all beings be free from the causes of suffering.
May all beings be free from the causes of suffering.
May all beings know joy and the causes of joy.
All beings know joy and causes of joy.
May all beings have enough food, water, shelter.
May all beings have enough food, water, shelter.
May all beings know love and compassion.
May all beings know love and compassion.
And take that supportive energy from the Buddha above the head and let it dissolve into our hearts. Saying your hands, blinking your eyes open when you're ready. How do we feel? Sounds pretty like instant, doing that quick. It's a pretty quick practice to get to that place within yourself. Question for you that I would love to obviously hear from you and maybe discuss a little bit. Because it's come up recently as we have opened up, JOY Karuna, and we talk a lot about Buddhism, that it's, Buddhist and yogic philosophy. So I'm curious, because in that meditation, we visualize the Buddha above our head, so I'm curious what comes up for you in that, because I know everybody has different belief systems, and so I would love to hear from you, and if need be, dispel any, kind of thoughts around it being wrong. I never really thought about it until people started asking me questions and have this sort of fear, if you're Christian, if you're Catholic, and then sort of working with the Buddha, right? What does that mean? So I just want to hear from you. You all look super calm about it. So.
I've never thought about it.
Okay.
But I do know that, and I am I was raised Catholic, but I do not go to church. Like I
Yep.
like do my own thing and I pray sometimes, but like it's not, I do more stuff like with yoga,
Yep.
definitely. But then I know that and I don't know anything about Buddhism except for what I did this week with you guys.
Yeah.
So, and when I was picturing Buddha, I think it's that one that's out there. I love
The blue
that.
one?
No, is it blue? Okay, but I'm
Yeah.
picturing it dark brown.
That's
but I
okay,
think it looks
yeah.
like that, but it's dark brown.
Yeah.
And I felt so much more calm when we were doing, like, as soon as that was up there, like
Yeah.
I felt so much better. So that's
Wow, that gives me the
you
chills.
guys, some of you know, I had a huge test yesterday. I usually be freaking out, and I wasn't like at all. So I don't know if that had anything to the only thing that I did different. Like, I didn't study since like January, but that's why I actually studied, but usually I'd be very nervous, but I have been doing a lot of work about not being nervous and like just, I don't know like what it was, but I definitely felt a lot better yesterday than I would have ever. I do have anxious, like, I don't know why, but I do feel, probably because I have a lot to do today, but I'm like trying to like just be here.
Yeah.
But aside, like with Buddha and being Catholic, I don't know much, but like I'm a little ignorant, honestly.
It's okay. No. And I'll talk about that. It's not even being ignorant at all, but
like why do people?
I was surprised to even hear there was an issue.
Me too,
I was
like, why is there an
"Wait,
issue?
what?"
Yeah, why is there an issue?
Yeah, this lady that I know that used to do like tarot and all this stuff, and now
Yeah.
she's like, it's all evil,
Oh,
yoga's
yeah.
evil, this is, and I was like,
Why? Why does she think it's evil?
she won't even say it.
She won't say.
You must find out for yourself, and I'm like, cool. I'm just like, how can something so
Well,
like
especially going from one to the other,
innocent
like, well,
and
especially
pure?
yoga to
Yeah.
that, yeah.
So it's
Wow.
just bizarre. I've always had a hard. I grew up Catholic too, and I've always had a hard time with like like if you don't do this, you go to hell. If you don't do
Yeah.
this, and I'm like, but you don't. So like that's just silly. If there's this entity that's up there and sees and hears all that we do,
This
and
one
whether
man,
you're in a
what?
building,
There's not this
Yeah.
one, no, I don't mean to disrespect,
Yeah,
but
no, like,
I
I'm
do think the
saying-
one man is interesting
yeah, but it's like
in religion.
take that and say like if there was that one person and they're watching you all
Same
the time,
man,
like
because
Santa,
it's depicted
right?
as a
Yeah,
man.
They're gonna know if you're good or
It's always a
bad.
man.
So
Right,
whether
yeah.
you go to church every Sunday or you don't, it doesn't make you a good person or a bad person.
Right, exactly.
Like it just doesn't like
No.
align with
Yeah.
the way I feel.
Right,
and
same.
think.
I
Yeah.
understand.
I just did it when my parents went to church when my parents like made me when I was younger.
Yeah.
Exactly.
My
I went
and
to a
then
Catholic
honestly,
private
when
school.
my brother and I grew up, like they stopped going. So it's not
Exactly.
like I go for funerals now,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
to church, so.
Yeah,
That's
I
it.
can't tell you the last.
Mhm.
Yeah, I grew up, my parents are very religious, like, we went to church every single Sunday, I went to.
and
Catholic
what really, oh, so
school,
Catholic,
Yeah.
okay.
Christian Catholic, went to Catholic school first through fourth grade, and then they let me go to public school, but, so I would have to go, so we would have mass every first Friday of the month, I believe it was.
Yeah.
Holy days, we would go to
Yeah.
mass and everything, and my parents are still like that, they go
Wow.
every single weekend, they go on days. You know, sometimes like my mom more so than my dad struggling with things will just like go to like church during the week and like pray and go to like an
Aw.
extra mass and stuff like that, and like that's great, and they're really really good people, they're not like, you know, like they don't look down on people, they're not that type of like super religious, but even when I was a kid I struggled with it because I just didn't believe everything, and like even though it's supposed to be like Catholics are supposed to like um have like that lifestyle of, you know, being good, doing good, things like that. I was just like, there's so many people who go to church and they're not.
Yeah.
That's not that's not it. And you know, my yoga practice started physical first, and then when I was 18 I went to my first like class, and there was a little bit more of the Buddhist part of it that came into it, and I was just like, oh,
Mhm.
like this is like, you know, adapting a lifestyle of being good and projecting love and projecting peace, and I never got that from a Catholic church, and like
Mhm.
it wasn't until I moved out of my parents' house that I was allowed to not go to church anymore. Like
Mm.
that's when they were like, you can make your own decision. But like so I was in my early 20s when I finally stopped going to church. And I'll go sometimes, like last week was the anniversary of my grandmother's passing.
Right.
So my mom had like a mass for her, and she was like, do you want to come with me if you're not busy? I'm like, of course. 'Cause, like,
Yeah.
I was with
Those
my
things-
mom.
Yeah.
But I'm like, if I was still going to church every week, I would have been like, oh no, sorry, I'm busy. You know, like,
Yeah.
but now it's like, no, because like I feel like I
Not
live,
forced.
like
Yeah.
I live a lifestyle where I want to project love and
Yeah.
peace. And a lot of that has to do with yoga and Buddhism
Yeah,
and the things I've learned over the years, and that has made me a better person. And again, my parents are great people, like I mean, if heaven is real, they definitely have the best looking seats up there. You
Well,
know,
that's
they,
awesome.
they are really good people, but not everybody's like that, and I just find people who have more of a Buddhist religion, I guess, or just
Approach,
lifestyle
yeah.
adaptation do tend to be better people for the majority, but
Mhm.
that's just my opinion,
Yeah.
but yeah, no, religion is definitely an intense thing for me, cause it is still so prevalent in my life, and even my brother's kids, like my brother stopped going to church and his wife's not religious, but my parents were like, if we take your kids to CCD every week, can they make their sacraments, cause it's important to us, and my brother and sister-in-law were like, yeah, of course, like that's fine, so it's like, even though my brother and sister-in-law aren't religious, like my parents are still like, well, can we like let your kids know about religion, and then when they're older, they can make their own decisions, you
Yeah.
know, so it's right there in my life
Wow,
constantly,
yeah.
but not necessarily in a negative way, it was
I was
just
gonna
negative
say,
for
it sounds
me.
positive.
Yeah, but it
like-
wasn't negative for me when I was being to it,
Yes,
and this never felt like anything forced, it was
Yeah.
just like, oh, wow, people
Yeah.
like
Do you wanna learn about it? Here we go.
people like literally like see like a heart-shaped heart in the middle of their chest, not like the medical heart.
Yeah.
You know, and I'm like, that's always been me. I'm always like, no, my heart's in here and it's a pretty heart.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's what I feel like, you know, people with like a Buddhist lifestyle see in themselves and other people, so.
And I think that's the difference, is like that it is from the inside out versus, you know, maybe Catholicism, Christianity is sort of from the outside in. And that was the difference for me, because the same thing, you know, brought up Catholic, did all CCD, all the things, but I felt connected to the imagery around it, like Jesus and Mary and angels, and I loved churches without people in them. You know, like I love the sacredness of that, but I never could take in the dogma of it, right? Like the kind of forced, or like the fear around it. So it just didn't make sense. And you know, and I used to question that when I was younger, and that doesn't go over well to question, which I found odd even from a young age. And then at some point, I was just talking to Josh about this the other day. I think I was like 21 or 2 when I started to read about Buddhism, and it was like whatever book I was reading offered the practice of like shifting, it was called reframing in this book, which we know about now, but back then that was like, you know, kind of a new concept, but reframing to view things from the other person's perspective and the pain that they're feeling. Right. So like that, I think that was really, I had a lot of compassion for other people, like up until that age, but to actually change my perspective to recognize that no one does anything to us. You know, people make choices that harm other people, but mostly it's harming themselves. That sort of like blew my head open, where I was like, oh wow. With my dad in particular, because he had, when I was 12, he, you know, left my life. He's back now. He's been back for a while, but for 10 years I didn't have him in my life. And you know, he chose a different path, and then my mom, being, you know, whatever she was, like demonized him, right? So I was 12 listening to her, this guy that cheated on her, got into drugs, you know, went to prison. She thought, and she cultivated like so much anger around that and demonized him. And so I sort of took that on. But right, I'm 12, so I'm listening to my
Yeah, how do you-
mom.
Exactly, like
Yeah.
how do you not?
Right. But I got to a certain age where it didn't suit me anymore. I was just like, I don't think I don't know. I just was feeling different. And then when I learned that like shift, I was like, holy cow, my dad was in, I mean, yes, were we hurt by his actions 100%, but he was in more pain than we could ever imagine. So that was where the light went on in my head. And, you know, and then things changed. He had changed his whole life. He was remarried. You know, it was my choice at that point to not be in contact with him. And I decided to be in contact with him after that, because I was able to open my heart, you know, and it was through these practices, like through that awareness of going within and then looking out. Like that was one of the most profound things of finding yoga and Buddhism, was like, oh wow, I have control of how I'm going to react, you know, of cultivating these feelings of love and compassion. And so it just started to break down all of, I didn't really have anything built up too much around religion, because I was always drawn to like the earth and like just whatever natural cycles of the earth, and like Buddhism and yoga, but not knowing what it was. So that wasn't that hard. But yeah, the questions around Buddhism that I've had mostly are the conflict of usually like really dedicated Catholics and really dedicated Christians, like, you know, thinking of Buddhism as a religion, and it is a religion in the Eastern, some parts of the Eastern world, because they're born into it, right? But Buddhism really in and of itself, and the Dalai Lama will say it over and over again, almost the beginning of every public talk that he does, where he says, don't throw out your grandmother's religion for Buddhism. Don't say, I'm becoming a Buddhist. Like, no, you're not. You know, Buddha was a scientist, right? He became enlightened and had this, he became enlightened through a method, right? And then when he became enlightened, he wanted to share the method because that's what worked, right? And becoming a kind and loving person and using our awareness, all these things that we get away from through conditioning, right? And so the imagery around the Buddha is really an image of ourselves, right? Our true nature, because everything is a reflection. So it's a reminder of wisdom. That's why we have these statues. That's why we have the malas that we wear, or, you know, all these things that we feel drawn to are reminders of our true nature. And so, yeah, Buddhism and this application are, you know, it's not religious. It's an actual format for living a full and meaningful life. Same with yoga, right? You can get into many of the religious aspects if you're drawn to that. It's pretty amazing and beautiful, but you can just use it as a formula. And that's what Buddha did for 40 years, was teach the formula of how to be enlightened, and what does that even mean, to be enlightened, right? It doesn't mean you float around like in some other realm. It means that you have very deep awareness and you have the ability, like we've talked about this week, to understand that undercurrent of peace, love, joy, happiness, whatever you want to call it, all of it exists within us all the time, right? And we don't have to be consumed the way that we've been conditioned to be consumed with emotions, to be consumed with all the things, again, that we think we should be doing, striving, trying, especially in this, like in America and the Western world. It's very materialistic. You know, and I'm guilty of all of that as well. And it's like finding the balance, because it's also like we were born here, right? And so like this is our human experience, is wherever you're born, wherever you land, wherever you live your life, that's your human experience. And so to be able to bring in these different aspects of being that help to temper, you know, and sort of neutralize what we may consider the negative aspects of human existence, you know, through this method of yoga and Buddhism, it just makes so much sense that it's being a kind person, like, and that's in all religion. That's why, like,
It
it's,
is, but it's like, I love hearing about your parents because
Yeah.
it's so rare. I did work with one woman who was very Catholic, but she was a very kind person. But I've known so many, and it's so structured, and it's so, I went to Catholic grammar school for 8 years. I was raised Catholic. My parents didn't go to church.
oh,
That
really?
used to irritate me, maybe holidays, Easter, Christmas kind of thing. But I stopped going, I mean, I would have stopped going anyway when I turned 18 and went away to college, but also that's when my father died, and that was like, I'm done.
Yeah.
This is nothing, this isn't doing anything for me, and I disagree with something that tries to control all these aspects of your life that aren't their business.
Well, and something
You know?
interesting to consider that Josh has brought to my attention that I hadn't considered is that Christianity and Catholicism are new, compared
yes.
to,
Yes, if you look at
Buddhism
if you
and-
read the history.
Yeah.
And the way the other, I mean, let's face it, Jesus was a Jew,
yes, yeah,
And then all of this has arisen from that. And he was basically a good person,
yeah.
but this whole.
Well, it's the
this is a
worshiping,
whole machine,
right?
basically.
It's like, instead of emulating, like Jesus showed what is possible, right? There's like some people that think Jesus went to India and did these yogic practices and became enlightened. That's why he was able to perform miracles. You know, there's a lot of people around the world that can perform miracles that are saints and sages, like Maharaji, you know, my guru, like was and is still known for performing very similar things. And he was, you know, known to say, like, he would show a picture of Buddha and be like, same, like it's the same. We're all capable of achieving that. It's not usually what our karma has for us in this lifetime, but eventually we'll all achieve that type of enlightenment. But we can still touch variations of enlightenment, you know. That's why we're here. I mean, not everybody's here in this room, obviously. But everybody can achieve different variations of enlightenment in this lifetime, right? It doesn't have to be many, many, many lifetimes. That's what one thing I love about this Tibetan Buddhist path that I've been exploring, is that it's, you know, it can happen in this lifetime. And it looks just like how we look right now, right? It doesn't change you on the outside, it changes you on the inside and allows you to be kind and loving and compassionate, right? And that's your contribution to the world, right? That's what you are able to radiate out without even using words. You know, the Buddha was said to have like this glow, the Vajra glow that I talk about in that meditation. That's the natural glow of enlightenment. Jesus probably had that glow. That's why you see
I was gonna say, I feel like I've
depictions.
seen that, yeah.
You've seen it. You've
Yeah.
seen the halo,
Yep.
right?
Yes.
That's that glow. That's what that is
Yes,
supposed
he
to.
was radiating light.
Yes.
And a lot of the stained glass
Yeah,
are.
exactly.
The saints, yeah, there's always that. Yep, that's what that is. So it's that inner cultivation, the inner light that we cultivate, that, and you know, you've seen people, you've seen it hopefully within yourself. When you're feeling a certain way, people will remark that you're glowing, you know. It's not the same as the fully enlightened glow, but it still is a radiance of energy, you know, when you feel that shift, like you feel different, you feel lighter, you feel capable of being able to do whatever it is that you know that you want to do, right? When you have, and that's what this does too. These practices develop your capability, the confidence. It's like this sweet, compassionate, kind confidence, not the overpowering, I'm better than you confidence, right? But just that confidence in yourself that, like, you're meant to be happy, you know, not the opposite. And we've been so conditioned to think or wait for the other shoe to drop. How many of you feel that way? Like, things are really good right now. What's going to happen? You know?
All the time.
But, and it is going to happen, right? We know that at this point, that the shoe, I don't even like saying the shoe will drop, but life is going to happen.
Things
And
will change.
yeah, but we're gonna be okay. I told the story at the retreat. One story that I absolutely love is this man was visiting Ram Dass in Hawaii, and he had a deep kirtan or meditation chanting practice. And he was far away from his family on that visit, and he got a call that his daughter had been, I think she got killed in a car accident. He's very far away. What are you going to do? What can you do in that moment, right? You want to transport instantly, obviously, to your family. But he knew that he was helpless in that moment, I'm assuming. And he sat down and he sang, you know, because that was what was within his control. That's what his practices were. That's what his heart guided him to do. And that was his contribution in that moment to be supportive of himself and of the passing of his daughter, you know. And I just think that's it right there, right? To have that awareness even in the worst time, that you can touch the place within you and take a deep breath. And you know it's coming. You're going to go through all of it, but still that well of peace and love is within you, you know? That's what it's about. It's not about always being and looking like the super duper happy person, because that's not real. or changing who you are. All of a sudden you start talking super quiet and you don't swear anymore. That's not real, right? But you're gonna see all that along the
As soon as I
path.
walk out of school, there it
Yep.
is.
Whatever your nature is, right? Like, you know, you've had this personality since you were born. Part of it doesn't change, right? Like, that's what makes us individual, is our personalities. And then we implement this science of these practices, you know, of awareness, aware of that there is suffering and that there's a way out of suffering, right? People get so focused on the Four Noble Truths, the first one, that there is suffering. But when you get through all of them, right, it says that there is a way out of suffering. And then this is the way. And it's through, a lot of it is developing that compassion, the loving kindness, filtering all of life's events and experiences through the buckets of the Eightfold Path, right? The Four Noble Truths, the Eightfold Path. So you can take the 8 limbs of yoga. Same. If you filter life through those buckets, then you get back right into that ocean. And then you can witness the waves that are the things, right? Instead of living in the tsunami, you can live in the ocean, witness the waves. So it's 8:28. Let's close our eyes for the last couple minutes and just allow our time together to permeate our beings. Before we open our eyes, I'll leave you with one more thing. It's not about the accumulation of these teachings or the wisdom of the teachings. It's about letting go into it, right? So it naturally reveals who you are. There's no forcing. There's just purely accepting and loving and being aware of all of the rising and falling within ourselves, of emotions, of physical sensation, of the flow of energy, the ups and the downs, right? Curiosity about all of it, continued practice, and the letting go into the wisdom as we are revealed more and more to our true nature. So we don't have to cling to the practices or accumulate or try. We have to show up. That's the discipline. Namaste. Thanks,
Thank
Maggie.
you.
Thank you. Have a good day, you guys.
You too.
And happy anniversary.
Thank you.